One. Welcome to our advanced April call. I am super excited to introduce number one person in my newsfeed that I look forward to every single day to pop up is Mrs. Mcclellan. It is not a Ms., it is Mrs. Hailing all the way, is it Utah? Am I correct? Hailing from Utah. She is, let me just get this right, 7-star and 1-star in a second business center, correct? She's 3-time elite. And Google that, GTS that. If you don't know what elite is, GTS that. And she is Success Club 69 months consecutive. Y'all, my father-in-law just turned 69 years old. That's a lot of time, okay? I just think about that number. So let's get down to it. I want you to think about consistency. And also, I want you to think about energy and how it transfers into money. Money equals energy. It's transferring of energy. And I can tell you this girl is rich. She makes me rich, and then she makes my family rich. So if she doesn't know it, she's vibrating money throughout the internet. So please welcome energy. Drop in the chat box your excitement and welcome. And I want to just share a little bit about yourself, and then let's just talk about what we really need to be doing with our lives.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that was like the best intro I've ever had. Oh my heavens. And that was like, okay, well, I hope I can like deliver on that energy. Holy smokes. Okay. So in real life's happening in my house, we got like a guy here fixing our drywall because our ceiling has fallen through in our family room for the third time since buying this house. It's great. Hopefully this is the final time. So hopefully you can't hear anything. It's the other side of the house and they're downstairs. Hopefully we don't hear anything. So, okay, so first of all, you guys are all like my sister coaches, just in case you don't know that. We're all in the big same family tree. I am also in Micah's downline. And I've been a coach for almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in July. I actually was a coach before and just didn't jive with my team at all. So if you have builders who you saw so much potential in them and they quit, don't give up on them because people can love Beachbody and come back. And I loved our products in terms of like the workouts. I thought our supplements were really overpriced and I thought coaches totally sucked. And so I wanted like nothing to do with coaches. And I ended up, I was canceled for about 2.5 years. I was really struggling with my own accountability, figured I could do things all by myself and I sure couldn't. And my upline is Jalen Lovell. She is a 3-time elite 10-star. But at the time she was my friend. We lived in the same neighborhood. I taught her daughter at church. Our husbands were best friends and she was my friend. And she and I had, we talked about our health goals and stuff all the time. She had a personal trainer. I was doing this Beachbody thing, but I was doing it by myself. Didn't have a coach. And then she posted she was signing up to be a coach. And I remember telling Jake I was going to have to unfriend her. I was, whatever, because she's going to blow me up. And she didn't. She literally never messaged me, not once. All she did was post what she was doing. And she shared her journey with like energy and authenticity, but she was also a real person. So she also shared the fun things her kids were doing. And I just was fascinated, like straight stalker status every day, like searching for her name if I hadn't seen her post. Because back then, this was pre-Instagram stories. So she would post like 3 to 5 times a day, because that's what coaches did back then. And I was watching. And if it was a post about her husband, because her husband's a cop, or if it was about her kids, I liked it. If it was about Beachbody, I saw it, I read it, I did not like it because I did not want her to message me. And I watched for 6 months as she lost all of her baby weight and got into her pre-kid jeans after baby number 4 using Beachbody stuff. I had Beachbody stuff. I didn't have what she was doing because she was doing 21 Day Fix in these like stupid colored boxes. But I had these Beachbody DVDs and I'm doing like, what the freaking heck? How come I haven't lost any weight? Like, how come I'm stuck in this yo-yo thing? This is stupid. And she started getting shouted out from this Micah Folsom person who was shouting her out. She went Emerald like the day she signed up. She announced she was a coach. The next day, Micah did her Emerald post. And I was like, dude, I know what that means because I was a coach. Like, dude, she did that fast. And then she would get shout outs for success. Like, I remember she hit Success Starter and she earned her ticket to Summit. And I was like, holy crap. I remember the day she went Diamond that I was like, whoa, she did that fast. And just as she kept progressing and she started just breadcrumbing the income she was making with coaching and the things that she wasn't sharing actual numbers. She was just sharing the things she was able to do with her family. She took her family to Disneyland, and that she didn't have to wait for their tax return. She paid for it with Beachbody money. And she shared that she was able to get gas and it was a cold, snowy day. She lived down the street from me. So I was like very aware of the weather. It was like a blizzard, and she was able to get gas and sit inside her car while she got gas instead of doing the click, 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 click thing, because she could just fill the tank and not stress about it. And rather than getting snow all over her, she sat inside her car. Okay. And that, like, you think about that, that means that paycheck was like, what, 30, 40 bucks? Like, it's not anything, but that for me was like, oh, I had to get gas and I had to stand in the snow today. Like, that was like anyway, I watched her for 6 months, finally reached out and I joined, but I was super skeptical. So she didn't think I was really going to do anything with this. And so she put me under her husband. You know, here we are 6 years later, 3-time elite. It's fine. It's fine. She doesn't, it's fine. It's fine. We talk all the time. And she's like, yeah, it's the kiss of death. You put a couch under your spouse and they will turn into a rock star. But I was really hot and cold. I thought I knew everything and I couldn't learn anything. And then I was like really shocked when I didn't see success. And I thought that this only worked for other people. It didn't work for me. And I kind of got out of my own way and set a goal that I cared about. And I pushed for it and I hit it really quickly. I was able to go diamond. And then I got stuck for 2 years. I lived in the circle of contentment and wouldn't push for more because I was content and I was grateful. And I was able to go 2-star, but I was just going so freaking slow. And I was hitting Success Club, but it was the last day of the month and it was just really stressful. And then I went to a retreat that I earned for going 2-star. I was a week away from having my baby. I was very, very, very pregnant with my second and went to a retreat. All the things clicked and I got really out of my own way and I found some limiting beliefs and I figured out how to get through them. And I learned some things that I had been complicating with my power hour, and my business really took off and we really started accomplishing some stuff for my family and we went elite. And the next year I was invited to 2 different test groups. I was able to test out Transform 20 and MM100 and walked across the stage at Summit in a ball gown and the whole 9 yards and just felt like I was the coolest person ever. And we retired my husband and I'm living the Beachbody dream. And then I like majorly effed up as a leader. And I woke up the next day to 45 coach cancellations and everyone in my team except for 3 people left. And that we had just locked 2-time elite. We had just locked 7-star. And within the course of a week, we went from 7-star official to 1-star. And a week later, corporate called to, yay, you hit elite. How do you feel? I feel fake. That's how I feel. And everybody that just left is in my weak leg. So there went all my bonuses. There went all my volume. There went like my income. And we just retired my, like, what the hell did we just do? And then 2020 happened. And it's not like he could go get a job even if he wanted to, because, you know, we all kind of know what happened a year ago right now. And I started regaining weight and I started like really experiencing some depression, anxiety. I don't think there's anybody in the world that wasn't experiencing depression and anxiety a year ago right now, but it was like real. And all of a sudden I'm a homeschool parent and I'm trying to like stop self-sabotaging what's happening in my journey. And I'm trying to rebuild my business and I feel like a fake and like all these horrendous things were happening. And then corporate called again out of the clear blue sky and said, hey, we're wondering if you want to test group this new program coming out called MBF, and if you want to be in the test group for it. And I was not a success starter. So I was not, I mean, I was like a long time ago, but not recently. And so I was very surprised. And honestly, I wasn't very excited for MBF. And so I was like, I hesitated for a minute. I was in love with 10 rounds, and boxing is just my jam. And so I was like, I don't know. But I ended up deciding, I remember Micah saying once that you never, ever, ever turn down a test group opportunity. And so I decided to do it. And that test group changed my whole life. Like absolutely everything turned around with that test group. And I fell in love with my journey again. And because I fell in love with my journey, the rest of the vitals started to snowball. And I was able to pull myself out of the funk that I had gotten stuck into. And we did end the year 3-time elite. And as of right now, we are number 37 in the network. I've never been in the top 50 in my entire life, and my team is in the top 50 right now. And so much of that started from the spiral that MBF created, because it helped me focus on the first vital. So what we're going to talk about is like vitals, and like when you're working your business, what it actually looks like. And when you're getting unstuck, what that actually means. Because I feel like I unfortunately am a pro at getting myself stuck, but I'm also really good at this point at getting myself unstuck. And I don't think that that's a magical skill I have. I think that's something anybody can do. So we're going to talk about getting unstuck. I'm going to try to go through this pretty fast because I friggin' love questions. So I want to try to save some time for like Q&A, and you guys can talk about the things you guys want to talk about at the end. So, but we're going to talk about getting unstuck. Okay. You ready to go? Let's go. Okay. The vitals. This getting unstuck, you just have to do the vitals. That really is all you have to do. Okay. And I wish there was some like magical thing. There's not. Okay. The vitals, and just in case you're new, just whatever, let's go through the vitals really fast. Okay. The vitals are: be proof the product works, do the tracker every day, personal development, help people get results. Okay. And I think it's very common, because I know I've done this, to hear those and to go, okay, but I'm doing that. How come I'm stuck? Because I'm doing that. So there must be something else to it, right? Anybody else like, but I swear I'm doing that. And when you, someone just got unmuted, that distracted me. Okay, so, but that concept of I'm already doing that is like poison for your business. That concept of, but I'm doing all the things, or like that's a whole phrase that, but I'm doing all the things. Why isn't this working? You will not see growth when you're coming from that place. When it's coming from but I really am doing that, because you won't be open, insert all the Brad Biz Jack, you won't be open to explore what's missing, because you're asking your brain to find proof that this should be enough. I'm doing what they said, it doesn't work for me. Okay. So first of all, we don't say the phrase, I'm doing all the things. Okay. So, and when I say the vitals, we're going to do a real deep dive in these 4 about what they actually mean. Okay. So number 1, this whole be proof the product works. I freaking hate that it's phrased that way. I feel like it's more about, because this is not about whether or not you look a certain way, whether or not you wear a certain size, whether or not you have a certain amount of abs that poke through, whether or not you're done with your weight loss journey or you're at maintenance. This has nothing to do with that. Okay. Being proof the product works means that you're getting results you wake up excited to talk about. Okay. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like you are living in a place that you wake up super excited to talk about what's happening in your journey? Okay. And that can happen whether you're at maintenance or not. So that, and for me, I'm going to be totally honest, I'm literally going to like live check myself while I'm doing this with you guys. That's not me right now. I'm not getting results that I like can't wait to wake up. And I've been really stressed. I've had some emotional eating episodes the last couple days. It's literally been like 2 days. I'm not saying it's been like 2 months, but the last couple days have been a little funky. And as of this moment, I don't feel that way. I don't feel like I'm getting results that I like want to shout from the rooftops because my energy just feels funky because of how I've been eating. And that affects your energy. And you can literally mess it up in a day. You can literally get it back in a day. Okay. This is something that, again, is not about looking a certain way, because I was 2-star at nearly 300 pounds. Okay. So do not tell me that you have to look a certain way to see success in this business, because I hated that I was proof of this, because people would message me telling me that. I love that you're bigger and you see success. And that for me was like the ultimate jab, because I was like, well, but I don't like that. Why am I not losing more weight? Why am I not seeing more results? But I am proof you can see success in this business and not be this ripped 6-pack, whatever. Okay. Because that wasn't me. That still isn't me. But that being said, I've lost 110 pounds in my journey. So throughout the course of my journey, and that makes it so that at any given point, I can be getting results. That means you can wake up and be down a pound, bam, you got results you're excited to share about. That like literally can happen in a day. Okay. This is not about getting to a specific place. And beyond that, this is about how you feel. How do you feel with the food you're eating? How do you feel when you're doing your workout? This is not about whether or not you checked a box because you did your workout. Did you like your workout? Or did you finish your workout and you're like, thank heavens that's over. I do not like this program, but I'm going to do it because I'm a business owner and I set out. Nope. That energy is a real thing. If you finish your program, are you finishing your program and you can't wait to talk about it? Okay. That's a real thing. That's why I keep going back to MBF, because there is no program in our whole library that I finished that I'm that sweaty, that shaky, that shiny, and I am smiling so big my face hurts, because there is something about MBF that just it's my program. Okay. So are you getting results you can't help but share about? Are you drinking your Shakeology because you're checking a box, but you got to like pinch and gag it down because you just do not like this flavor and this is like so expensive and my husband is annoyed that I'm drinking this and I don't know if any of that crap is happening, like there is a sticking point right here. Okay. You've got to, I can't wait to share about Energize. I can't wait to talk about Recover, because I wouldn't love MBF as much as I do if I was doing it without Recover. And I'm obsessed with collagen. My skin and my hair and my nails look the way they do because of collagen. And don't even get me on my soapbox about Shakeology. Like my whole life would not look like, I literally wouldn't have my second child if it wasn't for Shakeology. And I would be in and out of hospitals all the time for my autoimmune disease. Like Shakeology literally saved my life. So I'm I'm very passionate about making Shakeology taste good. So I actually like talking about it because I'm not into the pinch and chug situation. I'm very into, yesterday's recipe was peanut butter oatmeal cookie. And I am all about making it taste like ridiculously good so that my 3-year-old will cry if I don't share it with her because it actually tastes good. Okay. When I say be proof the product works, this is what I'm talking about. Are you getting results that you are freaking hype about? Okay. Nutrition, the program you're doing, the supplements you're using. Do you have a hard time stopping yourself because you just love them so much? And if you're like, okay, well, no, I am kind of struggling with that. Maybe this isn't for me. Nope. That's not what I'm saying. This would bring it up that you're like, hey, I am realizing after that call, I've got a block with Shakeology, or, I actually am not loving my program, or I'm kind of struggling with my nutrition. And this is when your coach is your coach. Okay. They're not your like train you to build a big business. They're your coach, and they're your coach in your fitness journey first. So if you're struggling with these things, talk to your coach. I cannot tell you how many times I messaged Jaylyn that I'm like, hey, coach, client conversation here. I'm really struggling in my journey. I am just not digging my program. Can we talk me through this? Like what I'm like I'm procrastinating. I'm having to have energized, having twist my arm. I'm making myself drink energized like multiple times a day because I tell myself I'll do my workout and then I don't do it. And there's like this, I don't know. Can you talk me through? That's your coach's job. Okay. Even though you're a business builder, you still have a coach who wants to help support you in your health and fitness journey, because your health and fitness journey is the foundation of your business. If your journey is off, your business is dead. Okay. You have got to get your journey dialed back in. Okay. And this is what we're talking about. And you can feel that fire of you're getting results you can't help but talk about, no matter what, whether you're at maintenance or you're at the beginning of your journey. Okay. It's not about like, I've arrived at maintenance, now I'm done with this vital. That you're never done with this vital. Okay. And Sarah said it in the chat that it's so true. If you are trying to promote something that you're not using, that is a great way to feel salesy. That is a great way to feel slimy. But it's very easy for me to talk about Energize while I'm making it and I'm drinking it and then I'm freaking hyping my workout. The people are like, oh, is that yellow stuff why you're so hyper in your workout? Like, that's very easy for me to talk about because I'm actually using it. When was the last? I've never ever talked about it's not called testosterone. The other one that's clear, I don't even know what it's called. There's a
human growth.
Creatine. Thank you. I've literally never talked about it. I don't know squat about creatine because I've never used it. And if I all of a sudden tried to like set a goal that I'm going to sell 25 creatines in April, that would be a really awkward goal considering I've never used it. Okay. So that's what we're talking about when we say be proof the product works. Okay. Okay. Number 2. And this is a revolving scale. A week ago, if you'd asked me this, I would have said 10 out of 10. I'm freaking nailing it. You ask me today, I'm like a 4. Like I need to get some of this dialed back in. Okay. This is a revolving scale. And I'm telling you at any given time, at least one of these is off. It's not possible to be dead on with all of them every day. It's not possible. Okay. So this is when you are constantly reevaluating. Okay. Vital number 2, the tracker: connect, invite, share. Okay. The tracker is how your business grows. And I was very bound and determined for a very long time that I was like, well, I'm not going to do all the things on the tracker. I'm just going to do some of the things. I'm going to post every day and I'm going to expand because that's easy. And I'm going to do connections because that's easy. Not going to send invites. And I'm not going to do follow-ups. If people actually want this, they'll come back to me. I'm not going to follow up with people because I don't want to seem annoying. Whatever. And besides, I have little kids. Like I that would make me a bad mom if I'm spending that much time on my phone. Like I'm just going to talk to the people who come back to me. Okay. And then I couldn't figure out why I hit Success Club on the last day of the month and why I had like a whole lot of no builders and why there was a whole lot of nothing happening in my business. So on the last day of the month, I would do a psycho power hour and I would invite like 500 people and follow up with like every grandma and their dog trying to find someone to purchase so that I can hit Success Club. Or on a Wednesday when I'm freaking out because I'm going to drop rank because I have a hole because the cancellation just came in and I need somebody to purchase. And so I would do these big power hours that would take hours and they were really stressful. And then I would be solid and fill my hole. I'd hit Success Club. And the whole like first half of the next month or up until like Tuesday of the next week, I would do nothing. And then I would get myself back into the like, oh, shiz, it's the end of the month and I'm in SC0 again. And so I would do it again. And it's Tuesday and I have a hole again. And I would have to like do this start, stop, hamster in a wheel, like burn out thing. You want to get burned out, that's the road that you take. I highly suggest it if your goal is burnout. Okay. And that's not what there's 0 trackers that tells you to do what I just said. Okay. The tracker tells you to do the things a little bit every day. It's compound effect. Okay. It works and it doesn't take very long. Okay. you can expand, connect, invite, and follow up with just a handful of people in like half hour to 45 minutes. You make sure you do a post. You go and make sure that you've got some stories up for the day. You've checked into your challenge group. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You got your business built in an hour. Okay. Rinse, repeat, do it 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, all the years of your life. Like you will grow a business. Like I swear it works. That's exactly what I'm doing. I am 3.5 years at this point since I realized invites matter. And I still only send 10 a day. Like I'm not sending more invites than that. So it's not and last month, when you add up all my business centers, last month I hit SC 53, okay? 10 invites a day. I'm not doing something crazy, okay? But I actually gut check it. Did I actually expand 5 days last week? Or did I do it 3 times and I told myself it was 5? Like when I actually look at the paper, how many of the boxes are checked? How many times did I do a post on social media? Did I post 4 times or did I post 7 times? How many times did I have a call to action in my stories that if a brand new person was watching my stories for the very first time, that they would understand that I'm not just a person who likes Beachbody. They could do this with me because I run a group and I could help them. Did I actually make it clear? Perfect example. Did I make it clear that I run a business training other people how to build a business out of their health and fitness journey, and that I teach coaches how to do this, and if you want to do that, you should fill this form out so you can join my team? Sure did not, which is exactly why last month was a very low recruiting month for me in terms of builders, because all my call to actions were about joining my accountability group. They weren't about joining my team. So when I actually look at my tracker, like, okay, when was the last time you did a post about the business? When was the last time before that? When was the last time before that? When was the last time before that? Okay, well, shit, we're back into December. So, okay, well, that would explain why I'm not recruiting very many builders. And that concept, I swear that's what's missing. Okay, looking at your feed, how clearly are you talking about your accountability group? Oh, you're afraid to talk about your accountability group? Okay, well, that's why you're not getting challengers to join you. Okay, or well, I share sweaty selfies, and all people only want bod, and I'm always like, I swear I'm posting my results, I'm posting my sweaty selfies, I'm doing call to actions. People only want bod. Okay, when was the last time you posted about the supplements? When was the last time you made it clear that your results are coming from To Be Mindset, and you did a whole post, no sweaty selfie, no side by side, you're just talking about To Be Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix, whatever it is you're using, and you did a whole deep dive post? And then when was the time before that? And then when was the time before that? Oh, okay, well, you haven't been posting about that? Okay, well, that's why people don't want Challenge Pack. They think you just want bod, okay? The answer to getting stuck is in that tracker, okay? When you go back and you actually look at it, how consistently are you filling it out? And when you look at the areas you're struggling with recruiting, with hitting Success Club, are the activities lead to results. What you sow is what you reap. It is a law of the universe, okay? It works. So if you do the work, it doesn't happen overnight, okay? You got to hear me like loud and clear on that. The business runs on a delay. So the things you do on the tracker take a hot second to show up. So if you crush the tracker and then get frustrated it's not working and take your foot off the gas and stop doing things, all that momentum dies, because all these people who have been watching you wonder, like, is she still a coach? She hasn't posted anything in like a month. Okay, perfect example. I had somebody message me the other day and they were like, hey, I saw a friend post about Shakeology and how much they're loving it. I know you used to like that, but what are you drinking now? Because I know you haven't posted about that in like probably a year. So what are you drinking now? No, I'm most assuredly still drinking Shakeology. And so it made me start like, okay, this is someone who follows me on Facebook, not on Instagram. She doesn't watch my stories, so she doesn't see my Shakeology in my stories every day. This is someone who legitimately only sees what I post. When was the last time I did a post about Shakeology? Oh, it's been a hot minute. That's been a minute. And so that was very like, oh, okay, well, that's why she thinks that, okay? Like your tracker, and it has to be consistent. Has to be consistent, but there's so much to it that it doesn't take very long. I promise. You can expand to 25 people in like a minute. You can connect with 20 people in like 15 minutes. You can invite 10 people in like 5. Wham, bam. You just did your most essential things. Do follow-ups once a week, do like 20 to 40. Okay, bam, good job. Make sure you clear out your messages. Make sure you do a post. Make sure you're talking your stories. That's it. Okay, that's it. That it really is. That's it. It's not the big stressful do 1,000 thing, because nobody can maintain that. Okay, I know lots of coaches. Kate Schultz is one of my favorite coaches in the network, and she was a big promoter of like crazy amounts of invites and follow-ups. And she just had a baby, and she is like very, very, very actively now talking about how like she cannot maintain that anymore. And that's not what she's doing. And that's not what she's teaching her team, because she started experiencing massive amounts of burnout doing crazy amounts of invites. Okay. Does it work when you're in a season of push? Yes. Is it a long-term way to build your business? No. Is it a thing that can lead to burnout? Yes. Okay. Not saying don't send invites. I send invites. I send 10 a day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, 3.5 years. It's added up to almost 10,000 invites. Okay. Do you think I've had a couple people say yes when I've sent 10,000 of them? Yeah, a couple people have said yes. Like I said, last month was like SC53. Okay. So actually look at the tracker. How consistently are you actually doing it? Okay. Okay. Vital number 3. We're going to do them slightly out of order. Get people results. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Okay. For a long time, this vital felt kind of, automatic is probably the word, because like, okay, you run a challenge group, they message you questions, you check them, like you reply back, like make sure you do that. But like, you can't make people get results. You can't drag them. And like, I'm not here for the like daily tagging of people in, like, don't sign me up for that. And so there was a lot of this that I was like, I mean, yeah, you get people results, but I mean, I'm not going to drag, and they got to show up. Like my energy is going to be in the group, but if they don't want to show up, that's on them. Like, whatever. And while I still totally think that, I think what this vital, instead of it being get people results, I think it needs to be 2 pieces when it comes to your challengers and your challenge groups, that you're running a group you're excited about. That's what that vital should be, that you are super hype about your group. The content that's being shared, the engagement that's happening in there, that it's a group, and I'm not saying that you're happy with the outcome. I'm not talking about like you're happy about how many people are checking in. I'm talking about how excited are you to check in? Do you wake up excited to check into that group? Yes or no? Okay. That is huge for your energy, huge when it comes to your energy with inviting to groups. Okay. And whether or not you feel like you make a difference in that customer's experience, and whether or not that's what makes it so you legitimately feel like, dude, you go buy from someone else, you are not going to have the same experience. Like, good luck with that. Or like if they message you and they're like, yeah, I'm using my mom's login and we're just holding each other accountable. That's great. I'm glad you got somebody holding you accountable. Good luck with that. That's not the same thing you're going to get in my group, but hey, good luck with that. Like that's where that comes from, is when you are so excited about what's happening in your group. Okay. That's so important. And that second piece is with your coaches, that honestly, I am discovering that there are some things to being a leader. There are some things that you need to study. There's some personality traits and learning to communicate with people that like speak different than you, like Enneagram, for example. I'm an Enneagram 3. I'll do shady shit for a t-shirt. You put my name on a leaderboard, I will like bulldoze over children to make sure my name is at the top. Okay. I am like here for that life. And then you get the top coaches in my team are all Enneagram 2s. And we just want to help people. We want to sit around and braid each other's hair. And I want everyone to feel included. And I just want to help people. And I'm like, no, I want the t-shirt. I want my name at the top of the leaderboard. And it's very hard for me to communicate with other leaders or with other Enneagrams. Okay. I'm working on it. You don't need to know all that crap to be a good leader, okay? To be a good leader, I have made it several years into my business, made it 3-time elite. And honestly, the big thing you need to do to be a good leader is do things that you would be happy if you found out your team was mimicking you, okay? If your team sat down to work and did what you do, would they have a successful business? Yes or no? And again, yesterday and the day before that and the day before that, and okay. Nope, I sat and watched Micah's Instagram stories for a hot minute. Okay, nope, my team probably shouldn't do that when they're sitting down to work. That's not going to build them a business. So, okay, maybe not. And then I got sucked into Fire for Life Fitness. She's an Ashley Molstad. I went down the rabbit hole of her reels because she makes the funniest reels. Spent half hour watching her. Nope, shit, my team probably shouldn't do. Okay, nope, I probably shouldn't do that. Nope, my team mimicked that. They wouldn't see it. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Are you doing things that if your team mimicked, they would see success? If your team did a morning routine like yours, would they have time to build their business and be present with their children and be getting good results in their journey? If they were as plugged into technology as you are, would they be burned out, or would they be frustrated that they're not seeing their family very much? Would they, like, that question of like, okay, nope, if my team, yesterday, perfect example. Yesterday was a day that if my team mimicked me, I would have no team. They would all quit if they mimicked what I did yesterday, because yesterday sucked, okay? So that is a very good, like, nope, probably shouldn't do that. Okay, yep, okay. That's so much of what being a leader is about, is that if your team mimicked you, they'd be successful. That you are doing the power hour. And it's just the things we already talked about, that you're doing the power hour, that you're doing your workout, that you're checking into the group, that you're running a group you're excited about. If they mimicked that, would they be successful? Yes or no? Okay. It's not about having this super fancy, great, grand, glorious onboarding system or the perfect Canva graphic or having the right preset on your filters or on your pictures. This is about if they did what you do and were as present in the business as you are and as present with their family and unplugged from the business as you are, would they be successful? Would you, and would you be happy about that? If they messaged you to say, I haven't watched a National Wake Up Call in 2 months, because you haven't watched a National Wake Up Call in 2 months, would you tell them, good job, you're going to build a big business? Or if they came back and said, I checked my screen time today and it was 11 hours and 42 minutes and it was on Instagram the whole time, would you be like, good job, 3 years from now, you're going to be one of the, you would be like, oh shit, girlfriend, that is way too much time. Why were you on, like, I can't even follow that. I would stop that situation in its tracks. Like, that's what I'm talking about. When coaches come to you and they're like, I just feel like this is taking too long. My power hour took me 5 hours. And I'm like, what in the ever living hell were you doing? Like, no, you weren't. You were scrolling and calling it work. You were overthinking a post and calling it work. You were watching someone's reels and calling it work. No, you were not working as much as you think you were, okay? That's what it means to get people results. That you're running a challenge group that you want to check into, and that if your coaches mimicked what you're doing, they would be building a business that you would be damn proud of as their leader, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Fourth vital, and then we're gonna go to questions, I swear. Personal development. This is my favorite vital. I love all the vitals. They're all my favorite. It's like children. You're not supposed to have a favorite, but I really do have a favorite. Personal development is my favorite. Okay. I, for the longest time, read books that the uplines talked about. So Jaylyn started all of her new coaches reading the book Slight Edge from Jeff Olson. It's kind of like Compound Effect, but apparently it's different. I haven't read it since I signed up as a new coach, and I hated it with my whole soul. I've heard that I will love it and I should give it another shot now that I'm like actually into personal development, but haven't given it another shot. It took me 6 months to read it, and it's a very short book. I read like 2 pages a day before I was like falling asleep, bored out of my skull, mind wandering, whatever. I just could not get behind this book. Micah, I remember, ran like a Push Elite group in 2016, and we had to read Grit from Angela Duckworth. Just in case you haven't read that book, it's legitimately like reading a textbook. And I was like, eyes glazed over. I had it on Audible. I had her on 2.0 speed and I still couldn't pay attention. Like it was, oh my God. And I probably couldn't pay attention because at that point I couldn't understand her, but it was like my hell. Am I done with this book yet? This is terrible. Okay. That's not personal development, guys. That is reading the book your upline is reading and calling it personal development. That is doing personal development's checkbox. That's not personal development. Okay. What's personal development? Personal development is when we're going to do some examples because these are real conversations I've had with coaches. Coach comes to me and says, hey, I'm really struggling and I'm really freaking frustrated and I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. What are you doing for your personal development? I am reading 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership from John Maxwell. Amazing book. Amazing book. Love that book. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a good one. Okay. I love it. I love it. Okay. How's your journey going? It's going really good. I'm doing 9-week control freak. I'm freaking obsessed with the track. I'm in phase 3. I'm loving these workouts so much. I wake up every day. Like I'm sore and I'm seeing all this definition like in my arms, but I'm not really seeing it like in my stomach or my legs because my nutrition's kind of not on track. And I do really good because I'll like remind myself of my goals on Sunday. So like Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and I meal prep and I do okay. And then by the weekend, I'm kind of like doing emotional eating and I get stressed and I kind of mess things up. So by Monday, I'm like up a little bit from where I was. So then I gotta like lose the weight and I'm just kind of like stuck in this yo-yo thing. And I don't know. Okay, well, hold the friggin' phone. Why are you reading up personal development about leadership? You have like a weird self-sabotage loop and you got a nutrition thing going on over here. I'm not saying you don't need help with leadership. There is something going on over here. Your personal development is now you're reading Alana's book, you're reading Autumn's book, or you're rewatching the Ultimate Portion Fix / 2B Mindset videos and all the nutrition plot. Like, congratulations, Alana is your personal development. Study the crap out of her, okay? Autumn, depending on the program you're doing. We're not doing this John Maxwell situation, okay? It has nothing to do with whether or not that's a good book. That's not the thing you're struggling with. You read a book about the thing you're struggling with, okay? Another one, I had a coach come to me, hey, I am really freaking frustrated. I swear I'm like doing the tracker and I'm trying to do the things. And my husband's getting really frustrated with me because I'm spending a lot of time in my business. I'm spending money on products from my account and his account. And I'm just not moving my business forward. And I'm spending a lot of time glued to my phone and he's kind of frustrated. And I need something to turn around. I need to start seeing more success with this. Okay, well, that's a valid concern. Let's talk about this. How's your journey? Oh, it's great. I'm down 50 pounds. I feel amazing. I love my workouts. I love my nutrition. I'm obsessed with Shakeology. It's changed my life. Like my skin's never been clearer. I love collagen. Okay, well, it's definitely not your journey. That's going great. Okay, what are you doing for personal development? I'm reading stories that are back up. How's your tracker? Oh, it's going pretty good. I mean, I miss a couple boxes every now and then. But I'm doing pretty good with the tracker, all things considered. Like that's it. Yeah. Okay. What's your personal development? I'm reading Stories That Stick from Kendra Hall, which, just in case you don't know, that's a book about how to tell your story on social media. And I was like, and Kendra is amazing. She came to leadership a couple years ago and it was like life-changing. That book is so great. Freaking love Kendra Hall. Okay. Step back just a sec. Why are you reading Stories That Stick? Well, because I figure if I can get my post to be better and tell my story better, then maybe I can get more engagement on social media, and then maybe my business will grow. Okay, that's valid. I can see that, but that I am not hearing that you're having a need to tell your story better situation. I am hearing there is some sort of like time management block, because like how much time is your tracker taking you? Well, it is taking a while, and I'm not done with stuff by the time my husband gets home. And I am, now that you say that, yeah, I probably am experiencing a little bit of time management issues. And so that's a thing in and of itself. There's also, that could be a potential marriage problem. that we need to read a book about like how to communicate with your spouse, so you're communicating your goals to them and they know, like that could be a thing. It could be time management, so you need to read like Eat That Frog. Maybe you need 5-second rule because you need to like just stop overthinking and do the thing. Maybe you need Miracle Morning because you need to wake up earlier and actually get shiz done. Maybe you need Essentialism because maybe you're saying yes to things that you don't actually need to be doing. And if you freed up some of the things you're saying yes to, you would have more energy for the things that actually matter and are going to move your business. Like, I'm not hearing that you need to improve on social media. I'm hearing like we got to do some time management adjustments here. Okay. That is when personal development is like, and it's not just that you're reading it. It's not just that you're listening to it. It's that you're applying it. I was having this conversation with a couple of my coaches. My team as a team read 5-second rule last month. And one of my coaches mentioned that she's still really struggling with the snooze button. And I was like, how? You're sleeping with your phone in the bathroom. Like, how are you still pushing the snooze button? And she was like, oh, my phone's not in the bathroom. Okay, well, Mel told you to do that. So are you just reading the book and you're not implementing? Well, no shit. It's not magic. A genie is not going to come out of the book and make your life better. Like, you have to do what they're telling you. And she was like, you really put your phone in the bathroom? Yep, my phone has slept in the bathroom for 3.5 years. My phone does not sleep on my nightstand. Sleeps in my bathroom, as far away from my bed as possible. The farthest outlet, not the closest one. So it's that many more steps for me to turn my alarm off in the morning. 3.5 years, my phone slept in the bathroom. Haven't pushed snooze once. Mel kind of knows what she's talking about. That book really does work, P.S. And that she was like, oh, okay. Personal development is about finding the area where you are struggling and reading a book about that and implementing it. So if you're struggling in your marriage, you're not reading a leadership book. If you're having a hard time with your kids, you're not reading a book about social media. If you're struggling with time management, you're not reading a book about improving on your journey. Okay. The area that you are experiencing the most friction, the most frustration, the area that you want to see something change, you're reading a book about that. Okay. And we're not doing 10 minutes to check a box. We are like going for at least 30 minutes until we find something we can implement today. Okay. Rinse, repeat. That's what I'm talking about when I say, are you doing personal development? Okay. Those are the vitals. Get results that you cannot help but talk about. Actually do the tracker consistently. Okay. On paper, not in your head. On paper, you're doing the tracker. Run an accountability group that you are freaking hype about, and run your business in a way that if your coaches mimicked you, you would be happy about that and they would be super stoked with the results they're getting. Do personal development that targets your biggest limiting belief. And like, you will get unstuck. I promise you will get unstuck. And in there at any given time is like the thing that I'm like, that's not on right now. Okay, well, I can adjust that. And that's exactly how you keep yourself from getting stuck. That's because there's always one of those things you can be tweaking. There's always something you can be doing to making those areas flow better. Okay. Okay. That was a lot. That was a lot. Was that helpful?
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And I like totally missed it. Did you guys drop questions that I missed them? And if you guys are like, no, I didn't ask it, but I have one now, go. Let's chat. What questions do you guys have?
I have a question real quick.
Yes, bring it on.
So when you teach your team, right? When you teach your team how to duplicate your actions, like you have a brand new coach, she comes in and she wants to learn all the things. What is your, initial reaction, like feeling the person out, on their energy and their desires? Like, what is your first, like, kind of your flow with new workers? Because it seems like to me, like I've heard you speak before on the best of the best, you say, you get most of your workers from your boot campers. And it seems like, you teach a lot of them in your boot camp exactly what you do. I feel like you prime them. So when you bring people in and you teach them all these things, what is like the first initial thing that you do with your new coaches?
So yes, so most of my coaches, like 99.9% of my coaches come from my accountability group. So therefore, and in my accountability groups, obviously, we're doing nutrition, they're doing a program, they're getting results, and they do personal development. So that means that they're doing 2 of the vitals already. So the biggest vital that they're missing is getting people results. Well, they don't have any people yet, and that's a little scary to run your own group when you're brand new. So you just plug people into mine, and you're clearly excited about the group because you're getting good results and you want to be a coach. So clearly something good's happening here. So that vital is kind of whatever. The vital we're missing is the tracker. And the tracker is very scary for new coaches. So literally the first thing they're doing as a brand new coach is you're just going to start posting what you're doing every day. I just want you to post about it. I want you to share your sweaty selfie in your stories. If you eat something that's really good that led to a weight loss day, I want you to take a picture of it. Especially if you're like eating out or it's something your kids were eating too, show it. I want you to share your side by side. I want you to do your coach coming out post. And then we're going to start. Yes. And then you start sending invites based off of the people who are liking your posts about Beachbody. So it's really important you're actually posting about this pretty consistently. This isn't you post once and you're going to get 500 people in your inbox and then you never do anything ever again. You have to keep posting what you're doing. So that means you got to keep getting results. So don't get distracted. Don't get distracted with all this cool businessy stuff. Your business is your journey. You got to keep doing what you're doing in the accountability group. Keep nailing your nutrition, keep nailing your workouts, keep nailing your personal development. I just want you to start sharing it on social media, and I want you to start inviting the people who like your post. And when you have someone that comes to you that they're like, actually, yeah, I do want info, message me. I will help you find your wording. And that is that's the flow. That's what a new coach is doing, because you don't need to do the crazy complicated things. You need to post. That's what you need to do. You need to get results. It's literally what we just said. You need to get results. You need to do personal development. Make sure you're plugging into the group. Make sure you're doing the tracker. And I slowly teach them the tracker. So did that help? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, what else? Do you guys have any other questions?
Ashley, I had a question. This is Kelsey. So I am a first-time mom. I have a 10-month-old, as you could tell. He was in the background. He's in a huge mommy phase. How do you, so I'm really driven with my goals. I'm like killing it. My fault is the morning routine. I get everything down. It's just when he's in his sleep regression right now, I get like 1 to 2 hours. How would you go about trying to get a solid morning routine? And I'm very determined to. I just need to get out of the funk, like you said. So I'm just trying to see if I need to do personal development or I'm desperate. Because I know I won't get sleep a lot for him, but I want to put everything into this business and coaching. And I think that will emphasize it to another level. It's just, I've been really struggling for the past week.
Okay. So that's the thing. Sleep and lack of it with a child it's a thing. So a lot of it, find all the things, make all the things come out of my mouth. It helps so much when you know your why. And when you have like a thing that's not a Beachbody word. Your why is not Success Club. Your why is not Diamond. Your why is not whatever. It is a real word that's not a Beachbody word. Okay. When you have a why, that really helps is number one. When you start backwards. So when yes, Danae, that's a friggin' solid tip. She said, get laser focused on what you can do for you that helps you for that 10 to 15 minutes in the morning routine for a newborn who's meditating for 5-10 minutes, visualizing what I want. Seriously, I started backwards. So I'd read Miracle Morning. Remember what I said about it's not just enough to read the book, you got to actually implement it. I had read Miracle Morning like 5 times. I did not have a miracle morning. I would do it for like a couple days and then I would stop. And I was reading 5-second rule from Mel Robbins. I had just had Emma. She was like a week old, and I was pushing the stroller because I wasn't cleared to work out yet, but it was very beginning of October. Weather was beautiful. Wanted to get outside, get a little bit of exercise. And I vividly remember taking the boomerang so I could post it in my stories and you could see my headphones. And I was doing like the hashtag coach life. And then I set a timer for 10 minutes. I was going to do 10 minutes of personal development and turn it off because I was still very much in that, like, check a box. I did the coach live. Like I was very much in that headspace still. And I started 5-second rule. And she was talking about this concept of you need to wake up 30 minutes before you currently are, like before your alarm is currently set. And I vividly remember the like, that's not happening. I have a week-old baby. Like, that's not happening. I'm not waking up to an alarm. And she kept going. And so 10-minute alarm went off, turned it off, whatever. So next day I'm out for my walk, did it again, boomerang, hashtag coach live, turn on my timer, start listening to the book. And she starts going and she's like, and the first time you do this, like, you're going to freaking hate me. And if you don't actually do it, why are you wasting your time listening to my book? And like, if you're not going to implement any of this, why are you wasting your time? Like, just stop listening to this book. And I was very like, whoa, okay, fine, I'll try it once. There's no way this is going to actually work. And so I set my alarm for like 7 a.m. Like, it was not anything psycho, but I put my phone in the bathroom and whatever. And, oh, you want to like propel yourself out of bed, put your alarm next to a brand new baby. Like, you will get shit up so you can turn that thing off. Like, you get up like a rocket. And so it worked. I like definitely did not push snooze. I was very awake because I like ran into the bathroom to turn it off. And I got like 20 minutes to myself I don't even remember what I did. I just got 20 minutes to myself before either of my kids woke up. And I was like, that was great. I think I want to do that again. And so I did it again. And I slowly started working it backwards. So by the time she was probably 3 months old, I was waking up at 5 a.m. But it was slow. It was not like, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. Like, that's not how it worked. Not how it worked. And I've had to play with it. There's days that is there something you need? Okay. Are the kids in bed? No. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to be a sec. Okay. Okay. He keeps like opening the door. I'm like, that's not distracting at all. So it's a gradual thing. I think that's what I was saying. And this, I don't know where I was going with that. Thank you, Jake. But you go to bed earlier. There's just a lot of pieces to it. But you got to know what you're doing when you wake up, which that's when Miracle Morning became helpful for me. Miracle Morning helped me because then I knew what to do when I woke up. 5-second rule is what helped me actually get up and actually do it. But does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. That was a good question. And exactly what Danae said, it doesn't have to include all the things, only the most important things. Exactly. There's some days that I'm like, well, we're going to do the most important things. I don't have time for all the things. So we're going to do these things today. Okay. Christy said, when you connect with people and they eventually decide to coach, how do you train them and help them learn the business without making them feel like the whole reason you took an interest in their life was, I've never had that be a problem. So, people know that that's an inside thing. That's not an actual thing. I'm not taking interest in people to get them to join Beachbody. That's not a thing. I take interest in people because I take interest in them. This call right now is a perfect example. I'm not doing a training for you guys, teaching you how to see more success in your business because I'm hoping that you will all quit and cancel and wait 6 months and then come join my team. I am doing this because I want to be a good human and I want to help you. And you guys are like, some of the people on this call are like legit my favorite coaches in the whole team. Like, you guys are like my favorite people in the team. Okay. Like, this is not hard for me to like, I genuinely love you guys. I genuinely want to help you. That is exactly how I feel when I'm connecting. I genuinely want to get to know this person, whether they buy from me or not. And if they buy from me, great. If they don't, that's cool too. Like they're not connected. Does that make sense? So it's not about, yes, amen, Aaron. Like people feel that. Like there's a coach who a lot of you probably unfortunately don't know her, named Kelly France, that used to be in our team, and now she's the #1 rep in Color Street, and like so rad for her. I miss her and I wish she was still here, but so rad for her that she's doing so good with Color Street. She and I are really good friends, and a lot of her reps and I talk all the time, just because we're like, I like them. They like have similar fashion as me, and like they're just fun to talk to. And if they message me because they're thinking about joining a group, great. If not, they're my friends that I like to talk to them. And a lot of them live in California. So they're like my Disneyland people. And like, we can talk about how stupid it is that land can't get their shit together. And I have to plan a trip to World when I just want to go to land. Like they're my people that I'm having that conversation with right now. Am I having that conversation because I hope they buy a challenge pack from me? No. Do I think they're going to join the business? No. They're all like 6 and 7 figure earners with Color Street. They're my friends. I'm just talking to friends. One of them messaged me yesterday and asked if she could buy a challenge pack. Like, out of the, hey, I want to buy a challenge pack. With Shakeology, I want to get in this group. And when Let's Get Up comes out on the 19th, I want to buy that. Like, okay, you knew a lot of the words. Okay. Like, that's, in my experience, that's how a lot of it happens. I am not connecting with people because I hope they buy from me. I'm connecting with people because I want to be people's friends. And that's saying a lot, because I'm actually very introverted and I'm very awkward in real life unless I'm with coaches. So coaches never believe me because they're like, you're normal around. Well, that's because you're a coach. Like I can talk to coaches all day long. You get me around normal people, because coaches are abnormal. You get me around like not Beachbody people, I do not know how to communicate with people in real life. Like I am horrendously awkward and very introverted, won't talk to anybody. But social media, I can do that. Like I can voice message, I can scroll my feed and say, oh my gosh, you got a new puppy, she's so cute. I can say that. I'm not thinking in the back of my head, I really hope they buy a challenge pack from me. Like, no, you got a cute dog. Like does that make sense? Like I'm not doing it because I'm not building relationships because I hope they buy from me. I'm building relationships because I want to lift people up. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, good. That was a good question. And yes, Danae said like a really quick morning routine. That's a solid one. Yes, amen, Sarah. Just go be social butterflies. Yeah, just go be social on social. Like for real. That's what this is. And honestly, that's what the algorithm wants you to do. The algorithm wants you to be social. Go be social. Like they don't want you to just post and get off. They want you to go build relationships with people. They want you to post things that people comment on. They want you to post things that make people reply to your story because you asked their opinion. And so they can't like, my hell, you want a great way to get people going. Ask them which park they should go to in Disney World if they only get to pick one. I am like very overwhelmed by how many people have decided to voice me their opinion about this. Like, oh my gosh, that's a very organized, or it's a very overwhelming question. Okay, but it bumps your algorithm. Like, and it's not everything's about the algorithm, but social media likes when you're social. Top mentors in the business, heavens above, I don't even know. Micah, obviously. Jalen, obviously. Outside of the obvious ones, Ashley Smith has actually been huge for me. Because Ashley, I don't know if anybody else plays this game. Micah told me she plays this game once and it made me feel not so psycho that I do this. Sometimes I ask myself like, okay, I wake up tomorrow. This was all a dream. Micah's not real. I cannot join Micah. I cannot join Jalen, but I know I want to sign back up as a coach. Who do I join? And for me, that answer is Ashley Smith. And so she's one of the only coaches I follow because I know I would join her. And So clearly something she's doing attracts me. Hold on one second.
Drop your questions in the chat.
I love him so much. So there's clearly something she's doing that would attract me. So I really watch what Ashley does. And I mean, Ashley and I talk like a little bit, but I mean, it's not like Ashley's ever like mentored me. She's mentored me from afar, from being able to watch her and really like, I like how she did that. How could I do that? And then mindset coaches would be the other ones. So Josh Coates was huge for me. Josh Coates was the first person that ever made me feel like I actually have a shot at this, and that like he made me learn how to believe in myself. And no one had ever made me feel like the way Josh made me feel. And Josh is also who taught me about limiting beliefs and lining up your personal development so that you actually get over them. That whole concept was Josh. Kyle Sullivan, he's been on Micah's podcast a few times. He and I worked together all of last year, one-on-one. And I legit would not have ended last year elite without him. He was huge at helping me forgive myself for how horribly I treated my team in 2019, and giving myself grace for the fact that I was having to rebuild. That was Kyle was a massive part of that. And Brad has been huge for the success that my team's had this year, because there's a lot of things that I've really grown a lot, but that I used to really make complicated. And that Brad has helped me a ton with making things uncomplicated and being willing to say no to things if they don't line up with my priorities, or really honoring my priorities and really having good time management. Like, there are things that Kyle and Josh had talked to me about, just for some reason they're actually sinking in with Brad. So a lot of my business mentors have been mindset mentors, because a lot of my issue was not strategy, it was mindset. And when my mindset got worked through, my business exploded. Every single time my business has had a breakthrough, it's because I was doing mindset work every single time. Who has helped me map out the comp plan? Lindsay Matway's YouTube videos. I watched them a couple times. It actually didn't take, the cycle bonuses confused me a little bit, because I couldn't figure out how $14 cycle bonus was leading to people making $1 million a month. Like, I could not figure out how those were connected. But then I watched, and then I watched my volume, that I was like, oh, I made 2 of them. Oh, and if I'm a diamond, I make 18. I mean, that's only $4, but make 2 of them, that's $8. Like, okay.
And then I don't have to be here where they're interrupting
Decker,
me.
you're unmuted. I love you. And that's when I started like, oh, so it was a concept of watching and then seeing it happen in my back office. And I'm a numbers person. I got a perfect score on the ACT in math in high school. I love math. I love numbers. So the comp plan is like, I literally did a call with my leaders before this, that I was like going through their back offices with them and placement so they can capitalize on volume, because that's just my love language. Like, you talk numbers to me and like, yeah, like I am here for talking numbers. So, but I learned it from Lindsay Matway, and then I just figured it out as I went. So I love the numbers. And yes, I do use Rise Up Planner. It is great. I love it a lot. Rise Up is huge for me. Good job with bedtime. Yeah, I need to go put my kids to bed. And Jake just told me the drywall guy's done. So hopefully I have a nice ceiling and not a hole in my ceiling. So there's
We
that.
are so thankful. You are amazing. Can everyone please drop in the chat how amazing she is for coming on this call? And I really hope that your roof everything is fixed. This month's going to be level up, and I can't wait to see our success as a team to get Micah and Rev King, like who's gonna like Rev I'm gonna call him Reverend King. But thank you so much. And April Fools, this is not a joke. Like we're going freaking all in, right? So I'm going to go ahead and end this recording.